Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. I'm Kristy Boyd Johnson, and I'm here tonight with my dear friend Kohila Sivas. She is doing some amazing things, and I wanted you to meet her. She is the author of two books so far. One is The Teacher's Epic Exit Plan, and the second book is Cracking the Parenting Code. She also is the founder of holisticsuccesscodes.com, which is breaking the awful paradigm of the way schools have been structured for forever. And it's pretty amazing. And we wanted to tell you about it on Chronically Healthy Life. We know that chronic health means all areas of our lives, not just our physical, our mental, our emotional, our financial, our careers, our relationships, our everything. And we are here to help everybody live a ridiculously alive and chronically healthy life. So welcome, Kohila. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to talk to you again because we've known each other for so long, right?
Sometimes I don't like to admit how long, but that's another story.
Yes.
Well, Kohila, because I know you have a really amazing story that starts in childhood of how you came to be this amazing teacher. So can you please share with us, I know you started out as an immigrant to Canada from Sri Lanka.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I left Sri Lanka when I was 6 years old. I said goodbye to my grandparents, not even knowing that was the last time I will ever see them because we had a war back then when I left. So that was it. So at 6, you don't even know what's going on. You're just excited you're traveling, but you forgot that that's the last time you'll ever see your grandparents. So didn't give them enough hug. To this day, I feel like I didn't hug them enough when I left. But I never got to see them again. So I came to Canada. Canada was exciting to come to, but also it was very cold and real cold. Physically, it was cold. I had to wear a jacket, but cold and also culturally because it was a culture shock for me coming to Canada, right? It was so different. So my grandfather is he was a very profound person in my life. My dad was not there for us, so he was. So one thing he always told me is that always be graceful and people will accept you when they're ready. He always told me that when I was growing up. So when I came to Canada, when I wasn't accepted, I just said to myself, they just don't know me yet. When they get to know me, they will also accept me. So that's kind of how I grew up. And then in that time, my dad, we came to Canada with all the changes. He lost everything. So he became, kind of wanting to drink too much alcohol. So he became alcoholic. So our household was always fragile. Anything can happen anytime. So growing up, I was always kind of talking to myself most of the time. My mom was very dedicated to my dad. So it was kind of hard to grow up in a new country when household is not as stable as you would like to be, right?
Right.
So
For
it was hard.
sure.
So there's a lot of things going on for me. And then at school, I decided that I would mute myself because I couldn't speak English. So instead of being an idiot and being exposed to not knowing, so I created my own protection plan, right? That's what children do. They create their own stories and they know how to protect themselves. So I protected myself by muting myself. Great idea, right? I mean,
makes sense to a 6-year-old.
6-7-year-old, it's a great idea because I won't get noticed and you can stay muted and no one cared. That was the hard part, is no one cared until I was almost into my elementary, like middle school years, that no one knew that I was muting myself. Like I just went like invisible. So I was invisible at school. I was living in a situation at home. So I always had a lot of questions. I was talking to myself so much more than some other people would have because there's nobody I can talk to.
That makes sense. Yeah. that totally makes sense.
So when you talk to yourself so much like that in a situation, your mind can tell you lots of things, crazy things. So towards when I got to be 12 years old, it told me that I should end my life.
12 years old.
Yeah. So there was just so much going on. I wasn't doing well in school. Nothing was, I'm almost invisible. Might as well leave is what I thought,
Oh.
right? So that's kind of how children think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to say how profound all these things for children. That's why what I do now belongs to all the children because of what I went through. So
Yeah.
I decided to end my life, and then I woke up the next day. They saved me, so I'm here, right, to this day. So I was saved, and then when I woke up the next day, the same conversations that I had previous to that incident, and the next day I'm having conversation with my brain because I talk to my brain all the time, as I said. It was different. My brain was upset at me. My thoughts were telling me, why did you do this? Like, your parents love you. You have such a great future. I'm like, excuse me, you told me yesterday I'm not good. I'm not good enough. Your parents hate you. Your mom will never love you. Everybody hates you. You mean all these things yesterday to tell me that I should end. Today you're coming and telling me all these other things? Like, huh? I'm sitting there betrayed by my own mind. When you wake up from an incident like that, your mind is also. I was shocked.
Yeah. What
I
a
was
shit.
shocked.
Like
I'm like a
overnight.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? You didn't tell me that yesterday. You didn't tell me all these things you listed that why I should end my life. You gave me facts. These are facts you told me, and I took your advice to end my life. Today, you giving me all these different facts. Why did you do it, and why should you live? So you see what the mind play, right? This is what I'm trying to share here. Yes.
Yes, how the mind. So how did you handle that? Because I mean, you were 12 years old.
Yeah, but I talk to my mind a lot. So that walking away from that, and then further conversations with my mind after that. Of course, my mom knows, my every family member knows. Everyone's asking me, why did you do this? What's going on? I can't say some of the stuff that happened to me. So there's some stuff that happened to me that I couldn't tell people. That's why I needed to exit the life, right? So I come back, and then I'm talking to my mind, and I'm like, oh, like as I move through this stage in my life, I'm thinking to myself, so hold on a second, I have control over my mind. Like, basically, I can talk to you whatever I want to have. I can accomplish anything I want if I just start talking to you, because you flipped on me. So if you can flip, I can continue to talk and achieve whatever I want. So I did that. I started doing that. I said, I have control over you. Like, all this time I thought you had control over me.
Oh,
You see?
oh, I love that. We're not at the mercy of our thoughts.
No. I got to go through this event to figure that out. But at least I figured it out, because now I have stopped many people, thousands of people, from doing anything like that or different things. You know what I mean? Because when I figured out I had control over my mind, I can apply it. Then I started applying in one subject. That was math. Because English was still hard. I mean, English is hard to learn, especially when your brain is all over the place. It's hard to learn one other language. That was hard for me to learn. Yes. But math wasn't hard. I said, okay, let's apply yourself somewhere. You got it. You can do this. Okay, now I can talk to my brain, right? So I started talking, and I'm like, okay, brain, let's do it. So I applied, and then I used math as my therapy. You know this story, right? Like, I used math as a therapy. So I would sit and solve math problems. If I get stuck, I read a quote by Albert Einstein. It said that you don't have to be smart. You just have to spend time with your problems. So, and I said, okay, let's spend time with the problem, and then let's solve again until you get it, because there's always an answer, it says in math, right? So find it, just spend time. So I don't have to be smart. That's another thing in school we're told. You have to be smart, and you have to be born with this genes to be smart in math. But when I heard that, I also believed that. I said, okay, I don't have to be smart. I'm not smart, but I'm going to try and spend time with it. And then that's exactly what I did. When I started spending time with it, I saw patterns. I saw problems that whatever I solved and used in one problem can be used in another problem. So I started figuring out patterns after patterns after pattern, and it became addiction to me. And it was also therapy. It was very good therapy for me, because I can escape to find answers, and I will always come out with an answer. But in real life, I can't solve anything. So it gave me empowerment.
You were still in your teenage years at this point, right?
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
so you couldn't really solve the alcoholism or
No, I can't solve my dad's problem. I can't solve my mom's problem. I can't solve whatever happened to me problem. I'm still living all of that, but at least I can escape in math, where I had opportunity to find solutions. And then when I found the solution, I felt good. So that's why it became a therapy. I still think I haven't explored that. I kind of parked my math business for now, moving into this this other businesses, but I really want to go back and show people how math could be therapeutic when you start applying.
Oh, yes. Well, our audience is familiar with my views and you and I share the views of how the education system is not about education at all. And math, the way they teach math now is totally setting kids up to fail. It's basically, oh, just guess. We're not going to bother to teach you anything. I'm laughing about it because otherwise I'll cry. It's so
no, the status of the school system, it's crumbling faster than we know. And I'm happy it's crumbling, because it should crumble, because we need to not redesign, we need to design it.
Yes.
So let it crumble. Yeah, it has to have a new foundation. We need a new foundation. No more building on top of the old foundation.
No, it doesn't work at all. And all the teachers out there, pretty much know it's not working.
Oh, they know.
Yeah. Parents know it's not working. Kids know it's not working.
Kids don't want to be there. I mean,
No.
I always go back to the example of if you have a store, any store, like if you open a business and you open it for your customers, right? If your customers are coming and they're not buying anything day after day after day after day, and you're not going to sit there going, I have merchandise, I'm good, I'm running a business, I'm good. No, but your merchandise is not being sold. So the customers don't like it. So you got to do something about it.
Right.
Same way, if your students are not liking what's going on, if they're not doing anything, they're only going to show behaviors, it's time to change. You can't just say it's behavior, right? You can't just keep saying it's behaviors.
It can't. We have to stop blaming. The blame has to stop, or put the blame where it actually belongs, which is not on the teachers, the parents, or the children. So as you grew up, you actually became a teacher.
So I did.
So tell us what happened when you came into the educational system on the other side of it, not as a student, but as a teacher.
Yeah. So when I graduated, I pretty much cracked the codes of math. I love the word codes. It's math codes, success codes. Everything is codes for me. So I cracked the codes of math, and I wanted to share those codes with everyone. It helped me, right? It helped me to not go into depression. It helped me to stay focused. It helped me to use it as a therapy. So I was so excited to share it. So I was thinking, what's the best way? So I'm like, I'll become a teacher. And I also got, married at that time. So I couldn't really go to school and so I became a teacher assistant first. So that means I worked with EA. I worked with a lot of children with different abilities. So I started testing my codes with them. And, people think that only special needs or neurodivergent kids needs special attention, and we have to explain it to them in different way. But what I saw was whatever way I explained, I would go to the regular kids, we call them, or the regular classrooms, and I would explain it in the same way, and they got it like that. It wasn't anything different. It was just customizing the way that child was learning. It doesn't matter who the child was, right? It doesn't matter what label they came with. I just looked through their soul. I now call that soul print biology. I looked at their soul as what is being blocked here for you to understand this. And if I could help you to unblock that, then you're going to get it. So in the beginning, I was excited about math, but soon I found out that it wasn't the math they were ever stuck on. They didn't know how to learn. They didn't know how to process. They didn't know what they were learning. They didn't know how they learned. Right? None of that is ever taught to us in the school system, right?
No,
how many of us ever got taught how to learn? How to take an exam? How to take a test? Or how do you learn? Did we ever ask anybody? Like, think about, how do you learn? Like, just a curious question.
Well, asking me because I know about learning modalities, but yes, I tell people all the time about visual, auditory, kinesthetic, plus the other ones like the musical, the artistic, da 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 da, etc. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? And then things will start to click in for them, like, oh my God, that explains why I always have to move. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to feel it. I need to move things around. Yeah, and school's probably dreadful for you because they go too fast for kinesthetic learners. They got to slow down for kinesthetic. So yeah, how to learn is a big deal. Yeah.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, keep going.
We're going to go deeper with Kohila into the education system. But first, we're going to take a quick break. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
When you look in the mirror, do you see skin that's just dry, tired, and stressed? It's time for a new ritual. Introducing Deep Love, the blue botanical face cream by Coolness. We've captured their tranquil essence of blue botanicals in a cloud-soft formula that deeply soothes irritation and restores your natural, healthy glow. This isn't just skincare, it's an act of self-care. It's Deep Love. Find your calm only at coolness.com. Scan the QR code now to visit our website.
Hi, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. I'm here with Kohila Sivas, and she is the founder of holisticsuccesscodes.com. And Kohila, we had just touched on when you started teaching, and what kinds of things did you see besides that none of the kids are being taught how to learn, which is very clear. What else did you notice as a teacher that was really frustrating? And
I didn't stay in the system too long. I always, like, if something doesn't work, I'm pretty much finding another path. Like that was kind of how I became after my suicide attempt. Got to create a path, right? So being a teacher assistant, seeing how the school was going and where I couldn't make a difference. And then I became a teacher, and then I was subbing and trying to get my own classroom. By that time, I almost knew I'm never going to stay there because I saw too many things that were going on, which wasn't going to be for me for the future. Like, I can't settle for a paycheck. That wasn't going to be me for a paycheck. No, I got to create change. And I do believe that returning to this earth again and getting a second chance to live after I made that mistake, there's a purpose here for me. The purpose was for me to understand the mind and how the mind works and how we have control over the mind and create this, and to be here today. That's why I was gifted. So all of that was stirring me up to create my own path. So I had a crazy idea that I would start a tutoring business. just like most people. Like, what else can a teacher do? Tutoring business, right? So I did that, and then I started working for company, and then I found out that they were paying me very little and they were taking so much. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to start my own business. So I did that. But what happened is, even in tutoring, like parents come to us most of the time, they're thinking that we have a magic pill, or we'll just give them and get the grades. Like, it was always about the grades. But I didn't want to be just a grade booster. Like, I didn't want to be that person for someone's life. I wanted to be transformational. Like, I want to give them transformation so they could become lifelong learners, not just intrinsically motivated, intrinsically responsible, accountable for their future, right? So I wanted to create that, and it wasn't happening. Most people just wanted to just work with them, get the grades. But even though they wanted it, what I did is I started coaching them. I used my tutoring practice as my laboratory. Like, it was like a lab. I would test with kids, because people brought their kids thinking it was the math they needed help with. I immediately saw I was in the math. So I would put the math down, and I looked at it as, this is a living system. This is a biologically living system. There's so many things going on here. So many variables are affecting us. And we are just looking for output of grades, ignoring this living system, right? Like, it's like you're sure, right? It's like chronically ill and living. Even that affects your learning. Everything affects your learning. Sleep affects your learning. Your hormones affects your learning. Your eating affects your learning. We don't look at anything. We just say, let's learn. Let's go. As we're just ready to do it. We have a switch. We turn it on, and I'm ready now to learn.
Right. Sit down at your desk, pay attention to your teacher, stop talking, just do what you're told. That's school.
And try harder. And if you can, just try harder. Keep trying harder. That's the advice. So I looked at these kids as they're blocked. Their biological systems are blocked. So what is blocked, and how do I unblock them and get them ready to learn? So that's why my program is called Readiness OS, operating system. So in that, I look at the person as a living person. They have a soul. They have a soul biology they were born with, but it's suppressed. And if they're suppressed, they can't express themselves. So then we want to look through that lens, not behavior, not they can learn, or whatever names they have already given to them, or any label. So I created a system that's universal. It could work for any age, any stage, any label, doesn't matter, because we're all a living system. We need to look at ourselves as a living system who is in an environment that is bombarded with so many variables, and we can't ignore any of those variables and think we're going to just learn.
Right. So, so backing up just a little bit, when you were reevaluating your tutoring business, you started seeing, what were you doing that you were starting to see the results? Because I know you got phenomenal results with kids who were just dead in the water with math to, it was like excelling. So what was kind of the process there that you found worked with them?
The math. I didn't teach them math. Math was never taught to them. That was the secret, is that they came for math. I dropped the math, and I was teaching them to look at their selves as a living system, and let's talk about, why are you blocked? Where are you? I saw them. I looked through a different lens with compassion and curiosity, and that made them go, oh, she understands me. She gets me. I can then be open to her, to share with her, this is what I tell to myself about math. This is how I call myself. This is where I picked up all this negative stuff, that I'm not good at this, or, this is why I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, I'm not doing, like, there was a lot of information they would share with me, because I was the first one who dropped the math and looked at them as a human being.
And then as they processed, do you think that their relationships with their parents shifted?
Everything. The parents tell me they walk different, they talk different, they sit different, they go to school differently. Like, they're like, what did you do? I was so popular in my small town. Everybody wanted to work with me. Everybody wanted to work with me. I've been in the newspaper. My business got on the newspaper because everybody, at that time, I didn't call it coaching, because I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing what worked. I just did what worked, right? That's all I was doing. So after they got to a stage where I saw there was curiosity returning to themselves, because the school system beats the curiosity and creativity out of all of us, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw that spark coming back, then I would introduce math. At that time, they had intrinsic motivation and hunger to learn math. They would ask questions. They were interested in what I was showing them. They would say, can I solve it like this too? Does this work? Like, they would ask me questions. Now I'm talking as if I'm talking with a colleague to solve something and have a conversation, versus when I did it before, when I just introduced math, it was like pushing math into them, pulling them, like, okay, let's do one more question, please just try harder, right? This kind of language. Now they're like asking me like, okay, can I solve this? Does this look good? This is right. Can we do one more to see if I could get that one too? Like, they're interested, right? That's the difference.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge, because most of the time they're so shut down, they're sick, or they're crying, or they're throwing something, or they're picking a fight, or they're avoiding, or they're hiding in the bathroom and refusing to do their homework. And that's all clues that their frustration level is so high they can't deal. And it doesn't, and parents try harder, forcing them, and teachers too, doing the same thing, because we feel obligated that we are somehow supposed to do that. And it doesn't work. Yeah.
No. If you think about it, just think back. Like, I always try to get back to ourselves, right? Think about your time learning something. When you learned something for the first time, when you didn't want to learn, somebody said, try harder. You're like, really? Try harder.
Yeah. telling a dyslexic kid who asks you, oh, what does this word mean? Well, look it up. Sorry, a dyslexic kid isn't going to really be able to do that, especially if they're young. You gotta help them out and teach them how to do that, and how to think about it.
Like,
So,
when we were young, like even when I was 12, if somebody said, you should try harder, I was planning to exit the world. How could I try harder? There was nothing I'm going to try harder than exiting the world faster. When somebody says try harder, we have to understand, when we can go back to our own teenage, my own or younger self, we can look back and say, how was some of the things hard for us when we felt like somebody didn't notice us, or when somebody didn't understand us. We always shut down, and then we created our own stories, and those stories get viciously produced in our mind as it goes. They make really good storylines, right? And then we create more, and we create more, and everything becomes like a fact. They become facts soon. And then that's all I see through. Everything I see through is through those facts that I've created, which are not facts, but to me they are, because I've created them.
Yes.
So
I'm going to tell you how many people have said, I just don't do math well. I'm not going to be good at math. I'm not going to be good at math. That's because that was created in them and became a fact, but it's not true. Or many
of us are carrying so many things, right?
Yeah.
Even like your mom or dad said something, you're probably carrying it because you haven't talked to them, or you just made story to validate that in some way, that whatever you felt, you took it. It's probably still you have it, and you're probably 60 or 40 and you still carry it.
Yes. I know people who are carrying, well, my mom wasn't good at math either, so I didn't even try.
Exactly.
Who said that was an equation? Math. My mom can't do math, so I can't. Therefore, I can't. That's not, no. So yeah, that's true. That's really, really true. And that happens with a lot of things.
Everything. Like, we can talk about anything, right? I mean, my parents didn't have good marriage, so how could I have a good marriage? You know what I mean? You can say it with everything. My parents were sick. How can I be healthy? My parents were always heavy. How can I be slim? You can say that with everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, my parents smoked. So
yeah, I guess I should too.
Please don't smoke.
No. I'm just saying, that's how our mind works, right? When we are we're that's why listening to our mind, we have to be very, very careful. I mean, look at me. I listened to it one time very heavily, right?
Yeah.
So we have to question it. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on a second. Where did this come from? Who did I pick this up from? Whose language is this? Sometimes we pick up languages and words from others who told us, and we carry it as our own badge, but sometimes it's not even my words. It's not ours to own. So we have to
Yeah.
question it. Where did that come from? When did you produce that? Who gave it to you? Which incidents gave you that, right?
Mhm.
So all of this, our mind, you own the mind. It doesn't own you.
Mhm.
So question it. Don't
Yes.
listen to it.
Never stop questioning.
Yes.
And I love that too. That is really the definition of empowerment is, wait a minute, who said this is true for me? Did I decide this was true for me? Well, I can re-decide that this is not true for me and I'm going to do it differently.
Exactly.
That is the definition of empowerment.
Yeah, totally. Every day you live an empowered life. Yeah. Since I figured that out, there's not a day. And I go through a lot of stuff. I've gone through a lot of stuff after that too, like little heavy things, right? But always I come back to it. And when my mind tried to overtake me, I question it. That's why number one thing for any change or anything is awareness, right? Being aware of what's happening inside of us. Like a lot of the time we think other people are doing it to us, or other people or the environment or the politicians or the, all of these things we think. But most importantly, if we can talk to our brain properly, we are in control of everything. Because I can put things out. If I don't want to listen to the news, I can block that out. I can tell my mind, forget that. Just delete that stuff you just watched.
Yeah.
But if I let my brain take that information and say, you know what, economy is bad. We're screwed. The whole world is going to go bad. I can start buying all of that, and my brain will then feed that to me 24/7. And I might say, what's the point of trying now? Everything is bad anyway. Or I can block that out and say, that's just an information I saw. Thank you for that. I'm moving on. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to move forward.
Right. Yes.
Choice.
It's always a choice. It's always a choice to, yes. I love that. And we can do that. Literally, we can make, I know, like a lot of times with wellness, people, they think they have to go all or nothing, like in a day. Like, okay, I'm never going to eat, let's just say, dairy again, right? That isn't realistic. But it is realistic to say, today, I'm going to make the choice, not I'm going to force myself, or I'm just gonna, or some other negative way, but I'm making the choice to eat something different. I'm going to choose, instead of drinking my daily glass of milk, I'm going to have almond milk or whatever it is. I'm not good at thinking up examples like that, but right now, today, and then tomorrow, I'll see how I feel then. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, you can say this right now, today, I'm choosing not to believe that I can't do this, or I can't learn this, or I
with
can't.
feelings too, right? Or feelings too. Like today, I can be sad because I can be sad right now because I have something that happened that is sad right now as I'm speaking to you. But I choose not to be sad because I want to be here with you to talk to the people who are going to be listening to us. I want to do this because there's more empowerment in this, and then me sitting there having a pity party, right? Like I chose that. And then maybe later on, I might have some sad time. That's okay. But again, I'm saying that modeling this choice every day, every moment, in every hardship, you have a choice. Every hardship too. It's not just fun time. You have a choice. Every hardship, you have a choice. In business, you have a choice. Business is not easy, right? Building an online business, growing it in the marketplace, in the online space is not easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of going late nights, a lot of early morning, never sleeping some days, right? But it's a choice. Everything is a choice, right? You can make it. Life will always happen, but we make a choice to move forward. So that's why the purpose is important, right? In life, everybody should have a purpose and know that purpose very clearly. Because whenever these things come and adjust you or throw you off, purpose brings you back.
Imagine if we all started raising our children and in school doing that with our children. What a shift.
That's what we want to bring into the system is Readiness OS. Exactly that. And I think the school system is ready soon. When after it crumbles, it will be ready because AI is coming in. So it's a beautiful time for AI to do all the work that teachers have been doing, insane amount of work that teachers have been doing. Let's get AI to do it. Let's put the human back with the humans to do the human work.
Well, we're gonna pause right here for a break, but Kohila, let's go deeper after this break. Stay tuned, everybody.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. It all starts with your body and a little help from light. Place one LifeWave X39 patch on the body. Apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. Patches may be worn for up to 12 hours before discarding. Keep well hydrated while using this product. Harness your natural potential. Reclaim youthful energy. Live long, live well, live young with LifeWave X39. Be the light. LifeWave.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. So Kohila and I were just getting into some of the juicy new stuff that's coming down the pike. And so we were just touching on Readiness OS. So explain to us what that is. I love that, Readiness OS.
So everybody wants our students or anybody, even an adult, want to output, right? Output is so focused, right? We're so output focused, right? Mm-hmm. So, but we have to get ready. So nobody flies a plane before checking the plane to be ready to run on the runway and take off. We don't go up in the air and start fixing it, do we? No. We take the time to fix it before we start taking off, right? And car, you don't just always assume it's going to run. You have to take care of it. And it has to be in alignment to start running. Even if you had gas, it won't go if it's not properly taken care of, right? So there's a readiness to that as well. And if a runner wants to, like we have Olympics happening now, those Olympic athletes, they didn't just show up there this week or last week and say, we're going to compete now. No, they had spent time preparing themselves, getting ready to do that. But in education, in everything else where we need to perform in life, we just think that we start here and we go, like produce now, let's go. Mm-hmm. But it came from the education system though, because when they created the education system, there was an assumption that anybody who walks through those doors and sat down will be ready. Like if we had a switch, we turn it on and we're like, I'm ready now, teach me. But I don't have a switch. I don't know if you guys, anybody had it, but I never had one anyway. So we assumed we could just be on command, be ready to learn. But learning is a state. Performance is a state. You got to learn how to get to that state to perform. At athletes, same thing, right? Everybody has to get to a state to perform. And we have never taught us, anybody never spent the time to teach us that. So this is our problem. So what I do is I stop, if I'm working with, if our coaches or myself is working with students of any age, we stop the pushing of content onto them. If this system is blocked and it doesn't want to learn, you keep pushing it while they're showing us behavior. What is the point of that? Nothing. You're just going to get more severe behaviors. And that is the state of our classrooms today.
Yes,
right?
it is. Clearly.
So why not just stop this temporarily? Like just for saying, stop this. Like, don't push it on something that's pushing back on you. Just stop. Makes sense now, right? Now,
Yes.
what about then get curious why the system is not receiving what you want to try to give to it? Like, why is this person not receiving it? Because they don't, like most of the time we say it's behavior, they're lazy, they're not motivated, they just don't care. These days kids are just like this and that and that and this. Those days the kids were the same way. It's not just these days. Those days we also did it too. So it was every age group had their own phases of demand. If the demand is you need to learn, if I'm not ready, I'm not going to learn.
Right.
I'm going to put up with behaviors or escape, avoidance, all these things I will learn to do, right?
Right. They stay in school, or they don't go, or they go to the nurse's office and say they're sick.
Or mute yourself, like myself, right? Many kids do that.
Yes.
Or plan things differently, right? Or never go to school. All these things, skip school, right? All of these things, get sick in the morning.
Yep.
I don't want to go. I'm going to get sick, right? So what I started, just like in my coaching practice and tutoring, when I started this, right, the experiments I did with thousands and thousands of kids who changed, transformed their life, I watched what happened. It was elimination of math that did that. So now we eliminate all the subjects for the period of time. And we just look at it with so much curiosity. This is a living system. What are the parts that are falling apart? Why are they suppressed? Why is their system suppressed? So we're looking at it from a system point of view. So we are made out of different systems, right? Like, so we look through that. And then when we identify where the blocks are, we're able to move them through coaching at the neurological level into flow and focus. And flow and focus is the state for learning or performing or producing. All of it, you have to be in flow and focus.
Yes.
It doesn't come on command. It comes from your body, your soul, your mind, everything in alignment, and then in activation. And you enter acceleration. In acceleration, you can learn anything. Anybody can teach you. You can learn anything.
Yeah. How many times? I mean, a lot of creative people say that they're in the zone, and that's what you're saying. You're just in this flow that it's just coming. It's just, it feels like almost like it's coming through you. And, so, and when you make that shift in the classroom, kids will light up like little bing, 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 little lamps go on. And,
So when we get to that state is when we introduce the subject again. And some parents always ask us, so my kid's going to fall behind. This is a fear, right? Because we're used to the same system. We're a product of the same system. We got to maintain the speed, right? But imagine if we can just stop for a period of 3 months, 2 months, give this child a break and let them breathe. Because every living system has to breathe and feel grounded and feel accepted, feel safe. And then you introduce math, it actually goes 3-4 times faster.
Right.
Than you would have otherwise done. So you, instead of going back in steps, you look like you're for a period of time, you're kind of paused to do this work, but it's not. It's actually building momentum. It's the potential is getting, we all talk about potential energy, right? I'm a big geek in physics and chemistry. So potential is stored energy. That's why we say everybody has potential. Yes, the child has potential, but it's stored. We have to get it in alignment, and we have to activate that stored energy so that it can get into kinetic energy, which is the movement, which is when they can accelerate. So when something starts accelerating, they can go faster. It
Right.
doesn't need any more pressure or push from anybody. It just goes.
Yes.
It's in
And
movement.
we've got to stop believing that the structure of school matters. It doesn't. If your kid is in 6th grade and they're starting pre-algebra and they're struggling with fractions, you can't just force that. But like you said, we break that up, and then the rest it'll just start to flow. It's like a
They'll
dam.
pick up faster. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's flow. Dam flows,
Yeah.
right? It flows. It's a
Dam.
flow.
Yeah. And the artificial school determinations, like, well, you have to do algebra in 10th grade and geometry in 11th grade and advanced, algebra 2 in 12th grade, or for the math kids, calculus. Who said so? Who made those rules? The people that made those rules have lost. They're also the same people that are saying that kindergartners are supposed to do science and history and all this stuff before they learn to read. It's like, no, if you really take a step back and look at it from a purely logical point of view, school is completely artificial. And you have hit upon the element that's the most important thing that's missing, is the human element, where little children are little humans.
Yes.
They're not little robots to sit in a chair and sit down, shut up, and do what you're told.
Yes. And I'm excited now because finally AI is here. We created a school system to take humans to create them into machines.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we can let robots and machines be machines. We have the AIs now. Let them be the machines, and then let the humans be human again. Like, we don't need to create humans to be machines anymore. We have machines. They're here.
So back to that. You mentioned that right before the break. So what do you envision that could do for the teachers? Because teachers spend insane hours beyond the hours that they're with the kids on paperwork and all kinds of stuff. So what do you envision with that for the teachers?
So with our program, when teachers or anyone comes to our program, they become holistic neurogrowth success coaches, holistic neurogrowth success coaches. My vision now, because we are getting lots of inquiries from schools. I even had few private schools ask me to give exclusive rights to this program. I would never give exclusive rights to anyone. This belongs to all human population. Like, that's how I created it. It belongs to every single child who can afford it or afford it. It doesn't matter. It belongs to all of them. So so for me, bringing in this into the school system, when we do, like, in partnership, it's not exclusive rights to anyone, but in partnership with schools, what it could do is the AI can do all of the tasks that teachers are forced to do that takes so much time, and it doesn't need to be done by humans. Let that happen. Even some delivery of curriculums can happen when the child's ready. Let the teachers get the children ready, so they can spend all those hours they spend doing all the extra other stuff, to run. Let that be the AI stuff, because that's machine stuff. Machine can handle it, and then the teachers can focus individually, even with students in this capacity. So I see as a great compatible system. It is in the right time, coming together. So that's why the schools are interested in our program right now. But no one have exclusive right. Everyone will use it.
Yes.
Just a partnership with team.
Yes. Well, you've expanded beyond school, and you have a parent program as well.
Yes.
Tell us about what parents can do, because I know for a fact when teachers and parents get together, that's much more magic happens than when they're at odds.
So I saw the blame. It's always been, teachers not doing her job or his job. Parents are not doing right. It's always been like that. It's back and forth. But we have to collaborate together. We have to holistically work. That's why I called my company Holistic Success Codes. Everything has to be holistic. We in this world, we look at everything in so much isolation, so much segmented, that we never come together to look at it. Without coming together, wholeness, if the wholeness is not there, we're always chasing that problem, right? We're never solving the root of it. The holistic way is the only way you can solve the root problem. And only then you can have real solution. Everything else is just surface fix. So when parents are coming together, so what I did is I created what's called Parenting in Flow. So in that, we've done 3 live events. We have 3 other live events happening in New York, Florida, and Texas, and I will have more end of this year. So basically, we bring the parents. Right now, parenting is hard, and it's okay to say it's hard. I have a 19-year-old. I've already done I graduated as a parent, so I'm done parenting, but I can parent other, like I know what it took. But I think even he's 19, but parents who are coming now, they have more things to worry about than I did, because there's no safety. And also there's invisible dangers that you have to be so vigilant with your kids to know even what's happening. Even simple thing that we think is just childish thing is not anymore like that. It's just the world happens to be like that. So parents have so much more pressure, so much more things to look after. So parents think that I'm alone. And also the labeling has become such tradition now, right? If a child doesn't fit into something, there's automatically a label being given to them. And then parents are, getting these labels and they don't know what to do with those labels. Labels are just kind of nothing, right? They just a starting
point. Or they medicate, automatic medication. Oh, yeah.
So our program takes kids off of medication. Because they don't need to be on that many. I don't tell them because I'm not a doctor. The doctor will, after working with our coaches, the doctor will notice the significant difference and they take them off. Like that's how it goes. They will take them off. So for me, the parenting was so important. And then a lot of parents, what we do is we think it's only happening to us and we don't like sharing. Because what parent is ready to share, like, I'm not doing a really good job. Then we take this shame and the guilt and we just stay up 3 a.m. searching on Google what's going on with my child, right? That's the maximum we do. We don't share with our friends because we think our friends are fine. I'm the only one who's struggling. And we don't want to share. But that's not true. Your friend also is struggling. They don't share either. So I'm trying to open up this conversation with parents to know that there's many parents going through the same thing. Many families are in this situation. Sometimes your kids are getting addicted to phones. And sometimes they're getting addicted to video games. Sometimes they're talking to people they don't need to talk to. Sometimes they're on Snapchats with people bullying them. These are all happening. It's normal now. But what are we going to do about it? How are we going to protect our kids? What's the next step? To that, parents are looking externally for answers. They're like looking at the next influencer out there or the next expert out there who's like giving them generic solutions. And, I host every week, we have a, online event for parents. They come and they're like, okay, they come with the paper and they want to write all of it down. That if I'm going to give them some generic list of things they should go and do, I immediately, when they come, the first thing I say is, I'm not going to give you a presentation. I'm not going to give you a list of things, because I don't know your situation. So do not take generic stuff. Somebody says, this will work for your family. Go do it. Don't do it. Because most of the time it won't. And you're just running in loops, trying different things, different days, different things, different days. And your kids are not responding and you get frustrated and you get burnt out. Instead, come home to yourself. Come home to yourself, your inner self here. When you come home to yourself, you can breathe. And you have the instinct to figure out what your child needs. That is the power of parents.
Yes.
But you need to be in the space, right? That space.
Parenting is the hardest, as the cliche goes, the hardest job in the world.
But if you come home, it's not.
It's much.
Home, it's peaceful.
Yes.
It's when you look externally for all the solutions, it becomes chaotic because the world is chaos.
Yes.
But if you come home, you go back to your instinct, then you're peaceful. You just have to connect with your child. You just have to be there present and observe.
Yeah.
Become aware of the needs, right?
Kohila, I hate to cut you off because this discussion is so needed.
No,
but how can people find you in the world?
HolisticSuccessCoach.com is my website. I'm on all socials. Kohila Sivas. We have our own magazine that we launched a year and a half ago. It's called Learning, Living, and Leading. It comes out every 2 months. About my podcast. So many places. Just type in online, you'll find me. This year, I decided that I would go all in at full speed to talk about what we have, because I've been building, but this year is, it's a horse year, they even say.
Yeah, the
So
fire horse.
I'm just going.
Good.
So I'm all over the place on internet.
That's awesome. Awesome. I can personally vouch for Kohila. I know her very well, and I know that what she has been doing works like gangbusters. So Kohila,
Thank you for having me.
thank you for being here. And parents, if you reach out to Kohila, tell her you saw her on the Chronically Healthy Life show, or just tell her Kristy said to talk to you. she knows who I am.
Being this show, I was going to add one more thing, if I may. One second.
Mhm.
Like, we have to look at our kids' hormone, what they eat, what we're putting in. Like, we always think that learning also is so much to do with our hormones, what we eat, what we drink. All of that matters, right? Sometimes we're just saying learn, but we have to look at all of that, because you guys probably talk about all of that, right? Because there's so much things in preservatives and all of these things in the food that's constantly changing our hormones.
Right.
So if that's not in,
That's a whole other.
I know,
yes, we do
but
talk
it's so important. It's
It is
associated with learning.
It is.
Yes.
All right, everybody. You can find Chronically Healthy Life on e360tv.com under the Vitality TV Network tab. Or, of course, we're all over YouTube at Chronically Healthy Life. And this is it for this show. Go forth, have a ridiculously happy life. Talk to Kohila if you're a parent who's just at the end of your rope or not at the end of the rope. Find Kohila. You will not be sorry. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.